Welcome to Business Minds. I'm Cindy Bird. I'm a business owner, educator, and thinking partner with a passion for helping people and individuals thrive and be successful. I'm so glad that you made the choice to join our program today. Business Minds is here to connect you and be your resource for hearing from aspiring entrepreneurs, seasoned business owners, and other types of business professionals so we can learn together. Learning with and from each other is one of the most powerful ways that we can learn, and a lot comes from that. A lot of thought-provoking ideas, some new insights. You never know what might come up when we're talking about what's on your business mind. And for the month of April, I'm asking another question of my guest, and that is, what do you know now that you wish you'd known then? So I'm so pleased to welcome my very good colleague and friend Julie Drake as my guest today. But before we get to that question, I want to thank you for bringing some sunshine with you today.
I ordered it.
Thank
It's here.
you.
Now we need warmth.
I was, after my workout this morning at Five Points in Washington, I had a couple of errands to run. I ran into Kroger and I heard one of the employees say to another, "Hey, heat wave today, it's going to be 51. And the meme that I saw on Facebook was priceless. You probably have seen it too. The one that said, "It's not April, it's January the 96th.
That is very fitting right now.
So regardless, we're so glad you're here, so glad that the sunshine is here as well. So before we do address that question, Julie, tell us a little bit more about yourself, about your business.
Okay, my name obviously, like Cindy said, is Julie Drake, and I'm the owner of Jewel Team. And I've been a small business owner for 15 years, and I absolutely love being an entrepreneur. And really my purpose and my vision has evolved over time, but it really is the heart of who I am, and that is a solutions girl. I love connecting people to solutions, and Cindy helped me realize that. I'm very thankful. But, you know, I've done that. I looked at that, and what does that mean? It really means for me making sure that people are connecting to their own purpose. They are connecting to their own dreams and goals and succeeding on their own terms. For many years, I did that just through the telecommunications industry in my business. And I help businesses connect to solutions in phone systems and carrier solutions to make sure their business needs are met. And then I also now am able to connect individuals to solutions, which is a great satisfaction for me. I partnered with a global skincare company, Rodan & Fields, so that I could offer solutions to individuals. And that's me.
Wow, a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
Chris and I used that term last week, but that has a negative connotation to me, like someone who's got too many irons in the fire. I love what you're saying because you've made some intentional, purposeful choices about what you've gotten involved with because it connects with who you are, your personal brand. So that's really awesome. Well, because you are a seasoned entrepreneur, I like that term instead, with a variety of experience, I know that our viewers are going to really gain from hearing your answer to the question, what do you know now that you wish you'd known when you started in business?
It was a very thought-provoking question for me, and really three things came to mind. And one of them, Cindy, is that there are different business models. And I didn't know that when I first started.
Okay.
I was that worker, and I felt this itch in my spirit to get out and be my own boss, and I just went, and I didn't have much of a plan. I didn't look at those different business models. And so some of how that's come about in the last 15 years is I have watched other people that I know start businesses or grow businesses, and their business models are different than mine. My Jewel Team business was all around me. I got the client, I did the work, I. So are you seeing the theme here? If I didn't do it, it didn't get done, and the income didn't come as a result. So some other people I know that have started businesses have used a more systems-driven, employee-driven model, and they have a lot more time freedom. and their earning potential is greater because it's not just them. I'm only one person and I'm only willing to work so many hours in a day or week. So if you employ the efforts of many people, you can serve more people and bring solutions to more people. And that's definitely something I wish I would have known early on. I might have done things different.
Well, I think that's an excellent point, because even just understanding what a business model is
Yeah.
important. And where does that fit in the scheme of things when you are starting up? You have this
Right.
passion
Right.
for doing something. I love that you described it as an itch.
Yes.
And so it drives you as an entrepreneur to do something. You know that you want to get out there and be more fulfilled, do something that's going to have a broader impact in the world,
Right.
even, right?
And I was surprised that I was an entrepreneur. For years, I didn't believe that about myself, but I love it. I just love
So
it.
what have you enjoyed about the business model you did choose, though?
Well, one of the things that I did enjoy, and now my children are older, but as a mom, it did give me the flexibility to be with my children.
Okay.
I rarely miss an activity. When they were younger, I was able to be with them. They didn't have to go to a daycare. I distinctly remember my son in first grade giving me the biggest hug after school, saying, "Thank you that I'm here." And it was about a year into my business, and it was an eye-opener for me that I did that for him and for us. And so that was huge. And to be able to, really know that I accomplished this. I did this. I had people that helped me, but it's still me. And it was a big, yay moment.
Do you ever see that you might change business models at this point?
Anything's possible.
I love that.
You just
Spoken
never
like
know.
a true entrepreneur. Anything
Yeah.
is possible.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I agree. I know I was probably similar to you in that I had that itch. I knew that there was a bigger impact that I wanted to have, and to start my business was the way to be able to do that. And there are lots of possibilities when you're looking at business models, and mine choice was very similar to what you were following as well. But that leads us into, I think, your second point, right? Though,
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing it all ourselves,
Right.
as you're describing, which has its pluses and it has its downsides. But what's another thing that you know now that you wish you'd known then?
So for a type A person like myself and a firstborn, this is often a hard thing to do, but it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to say, not everything's going hunky-dory fine. And it took me a while to learn that and to be okay with that, because in the beginning, I put on a rosy face. I wanted everybody to know things were going well, so they'd believe in me and they'd hire me. And then I realized that it's okay to talk about what's not going well, especially with people you trust that can offer assistance.
Yes.
And that was a huge aha moment for me. And what happened as a result of that, it was almost as if once I opened up to the idea to say it's not okay, resources started appearing in different avenues. I'd hear something on a webinar, or I'd meet somebody at an event. And those were people that could help me with what wasn't going exactly great at that moment in time. So
That's really interesting, because what I'm hearing you say is that it took you being open to the idea of seeking help,
Yeah.
and then those resources were more on your radar, but sometimes just serendipitously presented themselves in your path.
right.
That's pretty awesome. So what were some of those resources that you believe were beneficial to you along the way?
I have worked with different coaches before I worked with you, and I do work with Cindy. Love the work that we've done together recently.
Thank you.
Some of the other things that I looked at were things on structuring my business, financial side of my business.
Okay.
I loved working with the people, but I didn't always understand the back end. There is
Okay.
a back end to business, and
There is?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes, there is.
I met people that could help me understand balance sheets and profit and loss statements, and those things that I didn't always want to concentrate on. Other things were how to put a marketing plan together. I worked with a local company, and I really understood about advertising and marketing. And granted, the internet's changed a lot of that. It wasn't around when I first started. I'm dating myself. And then just different things on, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in my third point, but how to think and how to really position myself as a strong entrepreneur internally as well as for the people I'm serving.
Well, the industry in which Jewel Team operates, more male dominated, is that safe to say?
Yeah.
So how did that work for you? Were there resources that were beneficial to you along the way to be successful as a female entrepreneur and owning a business in an industry that was more male dominated?
I think that part of it is I became very early on, I joined a national group, STC at the time, it's SCTC now, and it was a group of other consultants and vendor advisory council. And that was really, there were several women consultants. So we really helped one another in that support structure. And that was invaluable to me. And yeah, it really, I felt, very early on, though, I felt comfortable in that setting. I don't know why. So it's interesting that you say that because it is a very male-dominated. There's times when I'm the only female in a room of 10 guys. So, and I'm the leader. So some people might not like that.
Well, I think you're pursuing something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
You're the solutions girl. I love that you use that terminology. And you're comfortable with that, and that confidence, no doubt, is coming through with your clients. What do you think, as a resource along the way, helped you build that confidence?
I think just really, I am a faith-driven person. I think that that's a big part of it for me, is just realizing that this is part of my purpose as who I am, and I'm living that out. So I think that is a big part of, what that looks like. There are also other organizations, NABO, I've decided, Women in Leadership that I have been a part of, and just getting around other success-minded people really helps because, it's no secret that you become who you hang around the most. So I started putting myself in more of those settings with people who were influencers, people who were getting it done, whether it is a personal goal or a business goal. I think somebody who's driven to succeed. And I think that support structure really helps.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I know one of the early things I did with my business, because even when you're starting up, you think you're all gung-ho, you're passionate, but then the self-doubt creeps in. Am I really supposed to be doing this? But I did something similar. I joined, it was Women in Management back in, when I started my business, now Women in Leadership. Just started joining chambers and getting involved in some other networking groups too. But you're right. It's having that positive vibe that you get from being around other entrepreneurs, but also being able to collaborate.
Yes.
And sometimes commiserate, right?
Yes, definitely.
Can be helpful as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, awesome. What's your third point that you have that you want to share with our viewers today? I want to remind everybody we're talking with Julie Drake, who is the founder and owner of Jewel Team. She's also a partner with Rodan and Fields, and she's answering the question today for us. What do you know now that you wish you'd known when you started in business? As Julie has told us earlier, she started in business over 15 years ago, so she's what I call a seasoned entrepreneur, and we're really learning a lot from her this morning.
So my third point really ties into what you said, those doubts, those fears, and the third thing I realized is that you don't always have to believe those things going on in your head. There's a lot of thoughts that bombard us every day, and I used to just take everything that came and eat it up and ponder it. And one of those times for me, I distinctly remember being in my living room very early on, 6 months maybe into my entrepreneur life. And it was one of those horrible moments. And the more I listened to my thoughts, very similar to what you just said, who do you think you are? Are you really going to be able to do this? Where are your clients going to come from? On and on and on, and just thought after thought, fear and doubt. And it really is by the grace of God that I got through that first step, because I didn't know then what I know now, and that is you don't have to believe those thoughts. And so I really did, again, through conferences, through listening to other speakers, through reading about the mind and how the mind works, realized...
This is a woman after my own heart here.
I realized that while those thoughts might come, I don't have to listen to them. I don't have to even entertain them. I can just say, go away. We're not going down that road today. And that was empowering for me.
I love that, because when you let those thoughts control your actions and your decisions, and or hold you prisoner from even doing anything,
Right.
as you're describing, it just sort of shuts you down
Right.
to where you're not even taking action of any kind. You can let them go. You can, instead of giving energy to that, you're empowering yourself with another kind of internal energy. So how did you figure that out? Did you just you said by the grace of God, you're a person of faith, so maybe through prayer and so forth. Was there anything else? You said reading about the mind. So what are some of the resources that maybe you remember tapping into, maybe people you followed, books you read that helped you learn more about that?
A big resource for me has been Joyce Meyer.
Okay.
I really have enjoyed her books.
Okay.
The Battlefield of the Mind was the first introduction I had, but books like Power Thoughts and things like that really were the opening to me learning. And while I was looking at that for me, it just translated into my business life. It all fit together because my business is me. So the more I grew as a person, the more I could bring what I was learning to my marketplace.
Okay.
So that was a big part of it. And then also there have been throughout the years other business conferences that I've gone to, things that I don't necessarily, I don't go anymore. Danny Johnson is a resource that I was introduced to a long time ago. But I've decided in the last couple years, Closer to Home is a great resource for, I've heard some great speakers at both the half-day conferences and the full-day conferences that have really, really helped solidify those things. And I think it is a building block process. You learn something, you're not sure where to apply it or how to apply it, and then the next thing you learn or read is like a puzzle piece that makes it all fit together. And that's a lot of, just a snippet from here and a snippet from there, and all of a sudden it lays that foundation out beautifully.
I love that analogy of the puzzle pieces, because our learning comes from so many different places, especially with the explosion of the internet.
Right.
There's no lack of sources that we can turn to, and you've given us some really great tips on a variety of things. So it's listening to speakers on certain topics, reading their books perhaps, going to conferences. Then it doesn't have to be traveling halfway across the country. We have a lot of wonderful resources right here in Peoria. And it reminds me of what you said earlier, that I see these two things fitting together, that it's about not becoming a prisoner of your thoughts, that you don't have to listen to those thoughts, but also being open to asking for help and connecting to resources. I see those two things really meshing together quite a bit.
Definitely.
So can you give us an example in either of your professional careers with Rodan and Fields or with Jewel Team of when you've applied these things that you've learned along the way?
Yeah. Well, I did say that there were moments in my earlier life where I was just frozen in doubt and fear, and I would love to tell you it never happened again, but I'd be lying. So as I grew and as I changed and wanted to be a solutions girl for individuals as well as businesses,
Okay.
those same doubts and fears came back again. But I was, instead of having a pity party or a doubt party for a long time, my doubt party was much shorter because I could employ those resources and those tools that I'd learned. And I just thought, you know what? Those thoughts might come, but I'm just going to keep doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing. And that time was much shorter in that,
Oh, that's fantastic.
world.
I mean, I hope everybody is really soaking this in because it's so valuable. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I practice mindfulness meditation, because mindfulness teaches us to not stop our thoughts. Absolutely, we cannot biologically do that. Our mind wanders 50% of the time nearly. It's wired that way. But we can learn to change our relationship with our thoughts.
Right.
That's huge.
And I loved when you validated that for me one time when I heard you say that. I was like, oh, good. I can do that and it's okay. Where my mind goes, whoo.
Well, we all have those moments when we are caught up in imposter syndrome or that doubt or just thinking we're not good enough or there's someone better than we are or doing something differently. And as soon as I still say it's about not empowering that outwardly, it's empowering ourselves inwardly.
Absolutely.
There's so much more to being an entrepreneur than I think
Yes.
either one of us imagined, right?
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
not about figuring out what am I going to call my business? What's my
Right.
brand going to be? What's my business model going to be? How am I going to get customers? I mean, we also have to think about things like that self-care
Absolutely.
and thinking about what are we doing to overcome negative thoughts and to
Right.
stay positive. And because if that's going on, it's getting in the way and robbing our energy of us being able to do
No doubt.
what we really want to do, and that is to help people. In your case, to provide solutions for people.
And I even see that business is one area, but being a mom, I see that so much in my kids and what they're aspiring to be and do, that I love that I'm able to take those lessons I've learned over the last few years and maybe just, they don't always listen to me, but plant little seeds. And,
Yes.
there's so many other people that you can and do influence that you don't even realize. And you take those business lessons and you apply them other areas, and I just love that.
Absolutely. And you're doing that for our viewers today. So thank you so much for
Sure.
bringing that great insight. What's on the horizon? You have wonderful things happening with both Jewel Team and with Rodan and Fields. So tell our viewers what you've got coming up that would be interesting. They would love to hear about.
Okay. Well, I'm a solutions girl, right? So in the business world, I am currently helping a couple agencies out east, a very large government agency. We've been doing a rollout of 29 buildings, replacing their phone systems, and I project manage the vendors. I'm on the last 10 sites, so I'm hoping in the next 4 to 6 months to be done with that phase of it. And
10 sites. So how many were there all together?
29 altogether.
Oh, wow.
So we're down
Fantastic.
to the last 10, and so that's going well. And then a new client that we're working with, and that is helping them make a decision on what would be a good fit for their 700 phone system. We're working through that process, and I work with a couple local companies. One's a not-for-profit, and they're doing a remodel, so I make sure that all their technology bits are in the right spot. And a school district that is looking to maximize their monthly spend and not waste money on features or circuits and lines that they don't need. So that's on that side of it. And I'm just calling out anybody with skin. Skin?
Skin.
Skin,
That's
and we
good.
all have skin. So I provide solutions for people with all kinds of skin conditions. And another note, I really want to connect with people who have a heart like I do to really connect people to solutions and to help them. And I would just love to talk to more of those people about what it could mean to be part of my Rodan and Fields team and get that same satisfaction of helping people that I've had.
Well, and I know, Julie, you have a new Facebook page.
Yes,
Tell
I
our
do.
viewers about your new Facebook page.
So you can find me at Facebook if you type in Succeeding on Your Own Terms with Julie Drake. And it's just a spot where, again, some of what I'm sharing now, I share insights, things that I'm reading, quotes that I love. Sometimes I'll just share a moment in time that is something I learned throughout the day. And I just hope to inspire people, whatever that looks like for you. Success means so many different things to so many different people. And your goals and dreams are going to be different than mine. But at the heart of it, there's still a passion there. And those are the people I want to connect with.
So how has Rodan and Fields helped you continue on this path of succeeding on your own terms? And how would it help other people succeed on their own terms?
I think a big thing, as I shared in the beginning, that business model.
Okay.
For me, it is a way that I can bring solutions to more people, all of us working together, so that it's a lot of people doing a little bit. It's something that doesn't take 50 hours a week to make a successful business. And like I said, helping somebody, an individual, achieve satisfaction, bringing confidence to somebody who needs some help with their skin. I've had people with horribly red skin from a skin condition called rosacea get that under control and hold themselves up higher. Or, that person who struggled with acne, even adult acne for many years, and helping them gain that confidence. Or that business owner who, needs just a little bit. In my business, there's always been cycles. I've been doing this 15 years, and I have ups and I have downs. And something that can ride those waves. And, I don't want to necessarily stop what I'm doing, but something that in a down month still provides an income to where I don't have to leave my family to do it. And I want to help other people find those solutions. Or somebody who's in a dead-end job feels like they're not appreciated. They've been working for a long time and they, still have to ask permission to go see their kids' activities. Or, I've heard a lot of women lately talking about how they've been in the workforce for a long time and they just feel like they can, they're continually fighting for those moments in time. And I want to help them know there's other ways to earn money.
I hear a lot of those stories too.
Yeah.
So if they're interested in Jewel Team, how can they reach you?
I have a website, www.jewelteam.com, and that will tell them what I do with regard to finding solutions for businesses.
Okay, fantastic. Julie, thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
being
having
my
me.
guest today. Pleasure to talk with you as always, and so much great information. Thank you for tuning in today. I want to remind you how you can reach me and find out more about Business Minds. Business Minds is on Facebook as well. You can email me at businessminds@email.com. I would love to see your feedback. I would love to hear from you as to what you're looking for as far as topics for future shows. If you're interested in being a guest on the show, I would love to hear from you as well. And that's whether you want to come on as an entrepreneur who's a seasoned entrepreneur like Julie today, or you're someone who needs some coaching with your startup business. Either way, I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great rest of this beautiful sunny day. Thank you.